This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. We are here at Wembley. It is Magnificent 7 comes to London. Delighted to be joined by promoter Frank Warren. Frank, how are you, first of all?
Joe, yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Magnificent 7 comes to London to finish off the year. This is a fantastic card, littered with talent from top to bottom. Just run down the card for us.
Well, you've got the main event, which is British, Commonwealth and so forth, all the different titles, European titles, but most importantly, it's for the chance to fight for Janabek for the world title. You become number one in the WBO, so they've got the massive incentive, both of them, to win this fight. It'll be a great fight.
I want to ask you about Weston Barney Smith, who's over there. It's been a fantastic year for him. His 5th fight this year. Weston Barney Smith. Someone you've invested a lot of time in. 5th fight this year. Feels like 2025 could really be Weston's year, right?
It can be. You know, he's got to come through the fight, obviously, on Saturday. But that'll set him up next year to be stepped up. You know, he turned pro at a very young age. He's done everything that's been asked of him. He's learning his skills. He's becoming stronger. And it's like all these, when you're a young man, some guys take a little bit more to mature physically, get their men's strength. He's in that position now, and he's just on the cusp of next year, I believe, going for his first major title.
Lawrence Okolie makes his debut at heavyweight. How fast can he potentially be moved and get straight into that mix?
Well, he's being moved fast. He's in with somebody who fancies the job, by the way. I mean, he definitely fancies it. So what's going to happen with Lawrence? I mean, I'm just watching him walk past it. I can't believe how he made cruiserweight. The size of him, he's bigger than most of the other heavyweights. Look, if he can go, if he doesn't have to, which he hasn't got to make weight now, and it's going to be interesting to see how that affects him. I heard him do an interview on the radio earlier today, and he was talking about he was able to eat properly and so forth. He hasn't got to watch his diet. That's good for him. So now it's for him now to go out and show what he's all about and show that he deserves to be at the top table of the heavyweights.
Frank, this week we got announced the 22nd of Feb card. A lot of speculation going into it, who and who wasn't going to be in the card, but I haven't spoken to one person who said this hasn't delivered. Biggest, best card you've ever seen?
Yeah, it's a great card, fabulous fights, competitive fights, every one of them, great fights. If anybody, well, no one has moaned, but if anyone moaned about it, they don't know nothing about boxing.
Yeah, well, it is one of the first cards. I've not seen any criticism at all.
It should not be either. It's a magnificent card, and you know, under HE's guidance and so forth, everybody should be proud of themselves for what they've done to deliver this to the boxing fans.
We want to talk
as part of the Riyadh season. That's why it's happening.
I want to talk about your man Hamza Sheeraz against Carlos Adames for the WBC title. Fingers crossed he gets the job done, and it just opens up a whole number of scenarios, but one of them could be featuring these two guys behind us, the winner of that, Brad Pauls, Denzel Bentley. If they get their opportunity, it's a massive unification.
That's what we've been working on. I mean, you know, it's no coincidence that all these guys are in this position. That's what we've been doing for the last couple of years, when we've invested in them in every level. It's not just making fights, it's behind the scenes, getting them into positions where when they win the fights, they get opportunities to fight for world titles. And as I said a little while ago, you look at Nick Parker, you look at Daniel, how it's worked for them, and these guys now, it's their turn.
I want to ask you about Buatsi Callum Smith. Was there ever the yard fight on the table for Joshua Buatsi on that card?
Not on that card, no.
Co-main event, which is mad to say, in Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. How tough of a test is this for Daniel Dubois compared to his previous opponents? This excellent run he's been on.
Well, he's going in with a fighter who's on a roll and who's a former world champion. He's got massive experience. You know, Daniel's not had any favours in any matchmaking in the last 5 fights. None. Everybody's thought's been a world-class fighter or a former world champion or a champion. And here he is again. He's in with somebody who's, as I say, he's on a roll. Joe Parker fancies the job. They really wanted it. I believe in Daniel, but I think we're going to get a great fight again.
Excluding Fury and Usyk, are these the most 2 in-form heavyweights in the world right now?
Are the 2 what?
Most in-form heavyweights right now.
They're certainly, well, Daniel, I think, is unbelievably in form. I mean, he's been the busiest heavyweight in the world. No doubt about that. You know, he's a handful for anybody now. He's suddenly, it's all clicked mentally. It's clicked. Everything's clicking for him, and this is a great fight. But it's a fight that he's very, very capable of winning.
This week we get to see the trailer of Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Another breathtaking trailer, another breathtaking thing from Riyadh season.
That's the best one I've seen. I mean, without a doubt, I really enjoyed that. That was so well done, so well made.
Feels like it is really ramping up now. All roads lead to the 21st of December.
All roads lead to Riyadh, the boxing capital of the world. No doubt about that.
How confident are you that your man does it and avenges that loss?
I believe in him, and I believe he will do it.
What has he got to do differently, do you believe?
It's a couple of little, little bit of modifications, not a lot. You know, it was a fight of two halves. He knows what he's got to do. He knows better than what he's got to do, better than you or I. Question is, for both of them, can they do it? You know, either of them. That fight, was it taken out of both of them? They've shared the ring for 12 rounds with each other. They've seen what each other's strengths and weaknesses are, and it's what they can capitalise on. And can they do it? Have they still got the wherewithal to do it?
Last one, off the back of an interview you done with Umar this week, I want to ask you about how impressed you were by Tyson's mental strength after the fight. Straight away going, get me that rematch. And that just shows you that he wants to be in there and he wants to get this win.
That's Tyson Fury. That's why I've always believed in him. That's what he is. You know, this is a guy, forget about this fight. Think what he's come back from. You know, the weight he had to lose, the problems he had outside the ring. You know, the boozing, the other stuff that he was doing, and think of even the worst scenario, that he was suicidal and he was that much away from thinking of ending his life. To come back and show where he is now and what he's done, that tells you all you need to know about Tyson Fury. He is a fighter through and through.
Frank, the pressure's about to start. Thank you very much. Cheers, Frank.